Good
Good
evening, back.
evening, America. We're back.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
You can barely
Well,
see me and shit, but that's crazy.
and
How
what
light,
was that?
how the light is basically reflecting on this in this room right now.
Oh, yeah, it is a little brighter. Well, my light went out, so I got to use this little light and my bike light. But
Yeah, I
we're
got it.
just,
My light went out too.
hmm
Yeah,
yeah,
so I'm using a lamp right now. So and
yeah,
it is making me come out my. You can't even see my face. It's coming out dark.
yeah. It's coming out dark. Actually, with the other light that was on the wall, made me come out dark. Now this makes me come out bright.
Right. Islam,
Yeah,
brother. Peace.
yeah,
That's the Lord. That's the Lord, brother. He come into every show to hear what
yes.
we got to say. To hear what we got to say.
Okay, Islam. Yes, he does, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to disappoint either.
Honors, honors. So you just going into the libation, bro.
Okay, first the mantra. All
Yeah, the
right.
mountain libation.
Uh huh. Okay. The new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great no thingness of the almighty powers of the great no thingness of almighty flow. The great no thingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible life from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon, God Son, Kundalini flame, now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakras to our central heart chakras and on up to our royal crown chakras, igniting our royal crown chakras, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster magi, dragon god, son, king, and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon gods, son, kings, and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all of the forces, all the elements, all the essences, all the powers, all the dark matter and dark energy within the absolute all into being and becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Now being and becoming an active force, an active source of supernal light and supernal energy that we're all now using to unlock and activating all of our junk DNA, returning it all back online within us through the black dot within our first eye, universal B. Now, in, increasing the vibratory rate of our entire beingness up higher and higher, changing every atom and subatomic particle of matter within our entire beingness back into a new primordial chaos out of order being of higher madness, the master manifester of all reality and beingness, manifesting into our reality and beingness a new and greater mind connected to Atma and Buddhi, the Most High, while pulling in unlimited supernal light and supernal energy from right out of Atma into our higher manas and lower manas and on down into our physical reality, manifesting it here as all of the substance that we need now to take total control of our reality in this matrix through the knowledge of our true higher and lower inner selves as we begin to learn how to magnetically attract all of our junk DNA back together again, empowered by the supernal light and supernal energy of Atma, controlled through higher manas to begin phasing in universe B, the world to come, while phasing out universe A, the world being and becoming destroyed now. By raising the vibratory rate up so high until it begins to awakening all and igniting all of the divine sparks in this matrix one by one, all going supramental consciousness together, bypassing all of our humanity, completely destroying this illusionary matrix at once, being becoming pure supernal energy, vibrating higher and higher and higher, being and becoming so massive than the sun until we suck the entire sun and the entire solar system into our supernal darkness and supernal light, collapsing this entire space-time continuum into our supernal energy as it continues to vibrate faster and faster and faster until it implodes and explodes, forming into universe B, the world to come, on a new earth expressed in this grandest grace and beauty in a universe now built on the foundation and fabric of divine love, peace, justice, harmony, and balance, as all of the souls come together to celebrate the great feast and grand festival of the new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, and might and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all. All that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be. Abracadabra, Ashe.
Presto chango, Ashe.
Ashe. Now to
Yeah.
the libation page.
I mean, people need to start their whole. I start my day with a libation, and I start my day with a mantra every day.
Yeah.
One
Mm-hmm.
of my greatest mantra is thank you ancestors, thank you Most High. You know what I'm saying? That's like a mantra every morning. Thank you ancestors, thank you Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Every morning, because I
Mm-hmm.
already know that's just because what we're doing is we're showing you how to cultivate the energy. This is how you
Yeah.
cultivate your energy, your dark matter, your dark energy, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cultivate it. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you because it's actually you in your is you basically in your omnipotence. It's your omnipotence and your recognition of that omnipotence, that you exist not only in this realm of existence of manifestation, but you exist in other realms simultaneously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the recognition of that. And these mantras are just communications on higher vibrational overtone, because you exist on higher vibrations and you exist on lower vibrations, right? This is I thought humanity was one of the lowest vibrations we can go, but there are lower vibrations.
Oh shit. There is.
There are.
There are.
There
Uh,
are.
okay. Uh, who's teaching the gospel on those realms or planes of existence?
Well, I don't think nobody's teaching about it. I think it's like it's coming in from just awareness of the duality of the universe and how everything as above so below, just recognizing the principles, You know what I'm saying? Because if there's higher realm higher than heaven, you got to know there's lower realms lower than hell.
Well, there is such thing as the seven hells. I would think one of those sevens would cover
Right.
it. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
get it, but I'm just saying there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
levels.
I get. Well, then that means that will be a body below a much more grosser body. It would be gross, very gross,
I mean,
very grotesque, if because it would consist of more matter than this. I don't know. I don't know if anything goes
or
beyond.
more density, I would think, because like I think the matter that we're doing this vibration is associated with the density. Because we, like I said, we came from being light beings, meaning we were lighter, literally and figuratively, uh, and now we are in a denser manner. And this is all based on our cycles, our experiences we went through, all these cycles we went through. The
Actually, we
soul,
were more physical than this. We were far. At one time, we were more physical than this. We were giants, and now we're becoming less physical.
right? But I'm just no. I mean, I'm saying like we were light beings at one time too, where we
Uh-huh.
consisted of nothing but our our, our constructs that we created. Like what, and when
Etheric
you
beings.
when you really break it down, that's what we're doing now. But
Hmm.
it's on a lower vibration, right? Everything on a higher vibration, it's the same thing, but it's more intensified, more in depth. It's more.
No, it's more
It's
subtle. Actually, it's probably more subtle.
right. No, you're right. Yeah, it's more.
Yeah.
Well, it's more subtle to this particular
This.
vibration. Like it will be
Yes.
subtle. Like for example, like with crystals, right? Crystals are like subtle energies that you have to vibrate with to even understand it. Right?
Yeah.
Most people don't even vibrate with this stuff because they're not in the frequencies. They're not dealing with these subtle uh, energies. These subtle like it's like faint. It's so faint that you have to go into this dark consciousness to even conceive of it.
Well, it's weird that we brought this up because I kind of studied on this today, and I have some material on this on
Not
what we're
weird. It's
talking.
not weird. That's just how the universe actually works. When
Yeah.
going into what I was talking about, how we're basically interacting with ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah. We are.
right? The whole universe is actually nothing more than a version of ourselves that appears to be outside of us.
Well,
So it's
is
just
it?
reacting. It's just going to react in that respect. So, like when you feel me, you saying, "Oh, he just." It's not a coincidence. It's coming up. This is spiritual.
Well.
We are vibrating on a spiritual, a higher vibration. So we're gonna pick
Mhm.
up on shit on another level. But go
Yeah.
ahead, I didn't cut your
Well.
wisdom.
Okay. Well. Okay. I'll get into what I was studying. Okay. It says the characteristics of the mental body is to produce thoughts. These thoughts are not really produced by our original manas or higher mind or by our original consciousness. The process of thinking can be influenced by manas, but in itself is a mechanical process like an artificial intelligence. Now, when a person dies and the soul returns back to the manas, it leaves behind the lower mind and emotions. These lower mind and emotions become like a kind of shell floating in the astral plane. And if that shell gets in touch with a medium or a person that does channeling, that shell uses the energy of that person and becomes the personality that we knew on earth through the real that we knew on Earth. But the real consciousness is in Devachan, in a further stage in evolution beyond the plane which the shell that it left behind is in. And this leftover shell of a personality will speak the same as it did on when it was in a body.
That's like exactly. I understand that because that's like coming in the spirit of a elemental, or you coming in that spirit and you can embody it. You literally embody that energy, right? So
Yeah,
that's what they're speaking on.
yeah. Okay. And with the same ideas, because the process of thinking in itself does not belong to real consciousness. What comes from the real
Damn.
consciousness
Say
is
that.
the
No, 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 no. Read that again.
what
Read
comes
that shit again. What? Read that shit again.
what comes from the real consciousness. Okay. Um, it says
Thought doesn't come
because
from.
the process of thinking itself does not belong to the real consciousness. What
Wow.
com-
Wait a minute.
yeah,
What the fuck does that? Damn, that shit got me thinking right there automatically. Like the process of thinking don't belong to real consciousness. I don't. Damn, that's deep.
yeah, that's deep. Okay. What comes from real consciousness is the creative aspect in the real. Okay. It's the creative aspect. And the real consciousness can direct the process of thinking to here or there, but it's really not the thinker. It's
Damn.
the knower.
Woo. That's. Oh my god. Because I mean, what they're saying is what I experience,
Yeah. hmm
and
I,
it's explaining it, but it's like, damn.
I experienced this in meditation, man. No more thinking.
I
So
mean,
the point,
once you get past thinking about it, and it
yeah,
becomes like advanced into like a state of instincts. It's
uh,
like you in the zone. That's what they call being in the zone.
yeah, or it become a creative process. You're the point in the middle, creating all this energy, projecting all this energy within the circle that that that
We're actually utilizing the true power within you.
yeah, to
You're
manifest.
utilizing it. We in this. That's crazy because the Matrix is literally trying to inhibit that through the culture. They're inhibiting and making you insecure about yourself. They're making you like depression. This is why mental health is at an all-time high because
hmm
this society is trying to inhibit you
Mental
from doing
sickness.
what you're naturally supposed to be doing here. It's trying to
Yeah,
inhibit that because they know that power is too overwhelming for them. They can't
yeah,
go around having everybody walking around as superheroes and shit
no,
with goddamn superpowers doing shit. And what I mean by superpowers, coherence, where people are, and then tapping in people like we're dismissing all of these people out here that's basically critically going crazy. They're hung up on drugs. Why? Because they're going through something inside,
yep.
right? This is why mental illness is at an all-time high right now.
They're having an
They supposed
internal
for
conflict.
so basically they supposed to be in classes like this, like learning how to manage these energies within them
Yep.
and realize that to manage these energies within them and take control of it instead of letting it control yourself. And
hmm
this is where this mental health stuff is because most of these people with mental health, so-called mental health, there are higher level beings. They just don't know how to handle earthly, human, mundane bullshit, and then trying to process that in their head, and they're thinking on the other whole
They're
vibrational
confused.
level and shit. And they go crazy.
Yeah, you remember last week was talking about only a small ray of manus incarnates, but the higher mind comes down into a lower mind and becomes confused.
Damn.
And
Right.
some of us
So
don't.
it's just look. So that makes me think that all of these potentialities that I was talking about, the multi-potentiality reality, is exists. It exists simultaneously. It's just where is it going? Where is the trajectory of your reality going based on you control you? Oh my freaking God. You literally control your reality in that respect too.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the multi-potentiality, that shit is already set in stone, right? So basically, it's just like how a quantum computer work at processing at that level on a quantum level, right? Where
Uh-huh.
it's processing an idea or a thought, a concept at milliseconds or more than milliseconds and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
But that's a mechanical process, though. It's thinking.
what I'm no, I understand that, but what I'm saying is mimicking something that's happening on a spiritual level too.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking, but what I'm saying, the ability, because what is that the quantum computer being able to process is trying to do something on a level of clairvoyance. It can't do that as a computer, of course. It doesn't have a soul.
It's trying to mimic. It's trying to
It's trying
mimic
to get to
the
that level.
universal
It never
subconscious.
will. It never will.
Yeah.
Right? It never will. That's why they call it a quantum computer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because what's the only thing that has this synchronicity to the whole universe except us? We
Except
have
us.
we are connected to every aspect of the universe from primal mother all the way to now to what we call present.
Yeah. What is it? What is it that connect us to that? It's called
What
man.
connects us, what connects us
Manus.
to it?
Manus. Manus. Higher Manus connect us. Is what connects us to that. Manus is what connects the lower body, the personality, with Atma Buddhi, which is the higher universal. That's so subtle. It would never ever uh, interact with the personality.
I was about to say melanin connects us. Our
Okay.
our our dark energy that basically is what our energy is basically conceived of this dark energy. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? So,
okay. Well, yeah, we have that aspect in us. All things. Yeah. I guess something with melanin would have access to higher manus.
I mean, we are vibrating at the highest levels on a even if you're talking about a visual scale or a harmonic scale, right? We're vibrating at the highest levels. There are higher levels, but we're vibrating at the higher in comparison to other um, genetics on the planet.
Well, okay. Well, assuming we're vibrating above our personality, above our the lower body, the emotional, the physical and emotional and lower mental body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's the shell that gets left behind, and it won't have a physical body, but it would still have uh, emotional matter, mental matter. It
Right.
was, yeah, enough to be able to use someone else's energy and and express itself through them.
I mean, this seems like the purpose of the world of manifestation because it's like when you are interfacing on a spiritual level, you want to see what manifests from your reverberations of your vibration of what you're you want to see what you know what I'm saying. So it's like we build on a sector of the unknown known universe to be able to see the effects of creation on this side, on the dark side, right? You want to see the effects of creation on the light side, right? Because we were so much used to we were so much used to just the primal aspects of ourselves, right? The primal aspects of ourselves, and we knew that that was expanding. So it was like, how do we expand? Are we just going to expand and you know what I'm saying? This is gonna just be this whatever happens, are we gonna control it? The expansion of our primal
That's
selves.
the purpose of that's where Manus come in. Manus is the process behind all
Right.
that.
That's what I'm saying is because we wanted to kind of like on these higher levels that we existed on. We want to experience it from a other vibrational. You know what I'm saying? Other vibrational levels. So, and because we couldn't see it from like it's like how on these higher hyperdimensional levels,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like they explain some of that in the his dark material how the angels are on a high such a high vibration that humanity really don't interact with them because it's a higher vibration. It's like you can't even so we wanted to be on both sides of this process of this reverberation because we couldn't stop it from we couldn't contain it in that primal beginning. It spread out. It had to, right? And it became order after a while,
Yeah.
right? It became
So
order after a while. So and this is the process. We learned that early on that okay, things fluctuate. You know what I'm saying? These things fluctuate. And
mm,
then you got not only the fluctuation of it, but you got little uh, microcosms of the same thing going on a microcosm level. See, this is crazy because they're going into this new Marvel Comics Wasp, Ant-Man Wasp, and
yeah.
they gonna go into the micro. They're gonna go into the microcosm of the universe, and they're gonna oh man, they're gonna expose a gang of shit if you're listening at a higher vibrational level. Because, like I said, we're scientists, man. That's how your
Hmm.
mind is supposed to be, not in the sense of not scientists in the Western way of looking at it, but scientists, and we're observing the world around us and discovering ourselves, right? And we're connecting those dots to to have that realization and that discovery of self, right?
Well,
Because
actually, the real true self don't exist down here. Okay, only a little tiny spark of it exists down here.
the self is more vast than we consider it to be. Basically, is way like the self is the oneness. First of all, so if the self is the oneness, it's way more vast than what you think it is.
Okay, well, we're talking about something that's beyond the human, our human sense of okay, like I said, the personality, that part of us. So that the other aspect of self that's beyond the personality is something that's totally different than the self that is in the person that appears to be the personality.
What is that?
Hmm?
You said what? Say that again.
The self, okay, the self that goes on beyond that goes on be or what you say is higher manas is something that is in itself separate from the personality, but it reflects on the personality. When it flects on it, it says here, at, so the point is now that when This manus is in a human or personality. Every thought that appears, wait, every thought that appears assumes the sense of I-ness, because the quality of manus is to bestow I-ness on whatever it is connected to. So when manus is focused on the personality, this personality acquires a sense of I am. I am this personality. And if this manus switches and begins to connect with Atma Buddhi, now the monad has a sense of I-ness. However, the monad is so subtle that it cannot get in touch with any aspect of
Right, right.
manus.
It's like the I-ness is like a focused state of consciousness. It's like you're not in a state of you're not
It
in a
coats
state
consciousness individualized in the
right.
appearance of an individual.
But it seems appears like you're reading it. It seems like these are states of consciousness. These are states of being, not consciousness. States of being.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is some hell of an evolution here. So um, now, so manus, it can turn away from the personality or looking down. It can start looking up and turn, and then the monad gets a sense of I-ness. So what happens when the monad gets a sense of I-ness? What if Manus was able, through Manus was able to take apart or take the essences of the personality, of that personality, along with the essences of the monad, and become and give it a sense of I-ness. So so when the soul or the divine spark returns back to complete unity, it returns back with the sense of I-ness, but not only, but not just as an individual, but I-ness as connected with the all.
Right. And that's like I think an evolutionary state of being. That's an evolutionary state of being, which is my point when I was saying self mastery
Mm-hmm.
and you mastering self, like
Mm-hmm.
self. I mean, quote unquote self, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we're recognizing the self as something more than what we conceive of it as.
Yeah, this is where the self, which is an aspect of the infinite, um, coming, um, taking shape and form as a unit of
I can barely
consciousness.
hear you.
Really?
You
Can you
you
hear me
shut
now?
you shutting down. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
You
Okay.
going in and
Uh,
out.
I'm going in and out. Is that's happening on your end? But I think on the broadcast they'll probably be able to hear me because I've gone in and out on your side many times, but I can still hear it on the broadcast. Shit, I forgot what I was saying. No, um,
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you going in and out too.
Yeah, you breaking up though.
You too. Oh shit, we must be hitting something. Oh shit, let's talk about the Lakers. Whether they'll let us talk now.
uh,
Yeah, if we
yeah,
talk about something.
we bring it back down to mundane reality. Then yeah,
Oh yeah.
how you spell Manus? How you spell Manus?
Yeah. Capital capital MANAS.
Manas.
Uh-huh. And you can cross reference it with the console body. which would be higher manas, because you have lower manas and higher manas.
Right. This sounds like a lesson we've been taught as in our understanding is the higher self and the lower self.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Manas, higher manas and lower manas. Well, lower manas is the highest, is the crown of the lower self. You get it?
The crown of the lower self.
Yeah. And higher
Right.
manas would be a crown above lower manas.
No,
Would be
I get
another.
it because every aspect of this reaching self realization, because this is what we're talking about. Sort of it's this process. Evolution is nothing more than self realization. To realize the ultimate truth within you and who and your connection to that ultimate truth. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it is
Really.
and it's like levels to that right there because that's why I get this whole Manus stuff. It's like it just okay. Manus is one of the three overlapping terms used in the Nakias. That's Nikayas to refer to the mind. The other beings, the other being Kita and Venia. Kirtan and Venia, these are other words that are, and this is Sanskrit, look like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comparisons with Sita and Vinaya. Mata, Sita, and Vinaya are each sometimes used in the generic and non-technical sense of mind in general, and the third are sometimes used in the sequence to refer to one mental processes as a whole. Their primal uses are, however, distinct in the distinct and the distinctions of the ab ab hot ab hot abhamada abhamada. That's
Higher manas.
ABHIDHAMMA. Right? Huh? Okay, so it says Hamada. It says Pakiak. That's PIT. Now Patiaka. Patiaka. PITAKA of Theravada Buddhism. That's THERAVADA Buddhism. All right, so this is basically Buddhism, which is an ancient science of melanated people. So you can't deny it. It's an
Okay,
ancient
here it
science.
says. Yeah, it is. It's Sanskrit for mind. Manas is dual in nature and has been divided into higher and lower manas. Modern practice within the Theosophical Society. Let me click on that.
Right.
So there's two
I
aspects
mean,
of man.
at the end of the day, I gotta learn Sanskrit because that's a higher vibrational aspect of our being. Or you feel me? Once you get into that Sanskrit and get into that mythos, that
Yeah.
cosmology that they're bringing forth through the Sanskrit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? They got that. They got the whole Nega mythos is just deep in itself.
It takes you completely out of the Western mindset.
Right. I mean, it basically because it's a deeper understanding of these spiritual aspects of ourselves, and
Yeah.
it's like that was, of course, uh, cultivated and built up and developed in those areas because that's where a lot of the most deep melanated people come out of that area. This is why that has a different connection. Listen to this shit. They call the people here Indians. Why? Because they look like the Hindu people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I
The
heard.
Hindustan.
I heard that they called the people here Indians. They keep from calling them black.
Well, no, they couldn't. It couldn't be because black was
Or
black
keep them from calling them.
Moors.
Keep them. Well,
It couldn't have been
the
black because black only came into the lexicon how it's being used today in the
well
1500s.
not okay. Well, what we would call people of melanin.
Right.
They saw people of melanin that were over there in Africa over here, and
Well,
they didn't want it.
it will be technically a Moor. Why? Because a Moor is the ancient political title we fell under when we ruled the seven seas. That's why we choose Moor, because the European recognizes the superiority of that political disposition, bro. So that's all
Hmm.
that is. They recognize and they know that that power still governs. I mean, or still powers over have authority over them. So this is why you would rather tap into your Moorish history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tap into your Moorish history, man, because that's the political superiority that we had in those ancient times.
Well, we definitely don't have no political superiority now in these times with what we have. So I
Oh, I
guess it would
mean,
definitely be
I,
worthwhile to tap
I
into
disagree.
something that we
I
did have.
disagree. I disagree based on what I just said because the pre-existing sovereignty of Morocco still exists today.
Well, oh, you just froze.
And
No, I'm agreeing with what
yeah,
you're saying. I'm saying outside of that, apart from that, we have nothing
oh no, no,
political.
no. Based on the based on our own admission as a group that we're black, we put ourselves in a subjugated state of being, right? The Dred Scott case.
Yeah.
Who none of y'all who consider yourself Americans are considered America if you refer to yourself as black, first of all. And second of all, that's a political designation that you don't fall under anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or that's not where your freedoms lie, where your protections lie over there. Right? I know we've been led to use that word, the American, we're the first American, but we don't understand the political sense of that word. What's the political ramifications of using that word, right? And that's what I'm getting into, that political science of like jurisprudence, international law, and things of that nature.
Hmm.
This is a higher level of understanding in history and you know what I'm saying, connecting dots of history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't expect a lot of people to understand what I'm saying because this
Hmm.
is a whole nother level of understanding based on international law.
Well, it's about education. Being able to go to have an institution, a credible institution that we could go to, where we could be that can provide us with the information and knowledge that uh, that we that existed that we put down
Well, there
500.
is don't mean to cut your wisdom, but there is currently a school that teaches what I'm. That's how I'm learning it, and it's called. Go on YouTube. Anybody who's on here, it's called Moroccan Post Media.
Yeah, the Moroccan Post Media.
Moroccan Post Media.
Hmm.
They're teaching our right positive law jurisprudence according to treaties and according to us being in the political disposition of being a Moor, not Negro, black, color, African American, none of that stuff. I mean, fine. My thing is, I'm not even. I just want to create a rapport with Negro, black, colored people who refer to themselves as such, which are
Mm-hmm.
actually Moors. I want to just create a rapport. I'm not going to no more try to impose or try to force my opinions, my ideas, my study on people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to let it come to the conclusion, and it's what it is. That's what it's coming to right now. A lot of people are, you know what I'm saying,
Well, the
battling within
Moroccan Post.
themselves about this
I
more.
mean, it's out there. I mean, yeah. I've been on there. You've invited me to a few of your classes, and yeah, it's very, very informative.
It's a must. Or it's what I've learned is everyone has to come to the conclusion on their own. No matter how much long it takes them to come to it, they have to come to it on their own. Because when
Mm-hmm.
we're building what we're building or what we're coming to realize that we have to govern over our own affairs, we can no longer amalgamate into other people's government societies and
Mm-hmm.
thinking that we're going to be protected. You know what I'm saying? Which I never understood from the beginning myself. Why we would amalgamate into a system or society from which we were never treated fair in the first place. But I don't. Hey, each his own. Do you? I'm not trying to get on you about what you're doing. All I'm saying is what we're doing is taking it to another level. We're going to go into managing over our own affairs or governing over our own affairs, creating structural governments, right, that we can use as vehicles to handle our political affairs through. Right? So it's about, and a lot of people who are interested in this, maybe they may be interested in this. These are some of the words you want to familiarize yourself with. Post millennium, which is an international principle of law that speaks to how a group of people being took out of their original state of political, their original state of inheritance, their religion. They have every right to return back to that after they have reached a level of maturity as a people. Right? We got to reach a level of maturity as a people. We haven't reached it, but we are getting there eventually. And I don't expect it happening in my lifetime. So that's not. So I know I'm working for something that's supposed to happen before I even can reap the benefits of it. And that's the real thing about what a lot of people have not given up their sacrifice in their frivolous little existence, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to live it and sensationalize yourself till you die. Okay, fine. Do you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm doing a greater good. Of course, I indulge here and there too. Don't get me fucked up. But at the same time, what I'm doing is greater than me, greater than just myself. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it's about. You have
Mm-hmm.
to understand and have a sense of something greater than yourself. And
Yeah.
that's where we lost that because we think we have a twisted idea of being selfish or being our what is it saying, being self-preservation, right? Because you can't preserve yourself if the rest of your people are not around collectively to protect you or while you do your self-preservation. We need each other. We
Well.
can fall under the hypnosis that we don't need each other. I don't like this whole battle of the sexes that's happening now, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
it appears to be a battle of the sexes, where men are just saying that they're not gonna put up with these women nowadays, these modern day women, right?
Yeah.
And
Well.
then the sister already said they don't need no man years ago.
Well, I think both of them got to come to realization that they both been targeted.
But this is what I was talking about, the immaturity that we have to come to before we're politically ready to take on the affairs that I was talking about. we have to take on our own affairs. We're not mature enough to realize that yet, that no one is going to take care of our collective affairs, because we have individual. Okay, let me break it down like this. Okay, you have your individual affairs, right? But guess what? Your individual affair is indirectly, or directly connected to the collective affairs. Okay, so you can't ignore the collective interest that we have. We all have a collective interest, right? Or
Yeah.
what's in our best interest, right? So at the end of the day, a lot of people, they ignore it and try to act like, oh, I don't need to ignore, because I'm in is mainly based on integration. The civil rights movement led us all the way away from our true political power, which is governing over our own affairs, recognizing our true nationality, right? Everybody here got a nationality except us. Stuff that I'm saying is like, you can see it yourself. Like,
Well,
everybody else here is protected under, because they're nationals here. Look, I literally talked to the the counselor from Belize, the council
mm-hmm.
from Belize. Did you hear what I just said? The
You literally
Belizean got
talk
a
to the.
embassy here, and they have a council here. So most of
Yeah.
the Belizean people,
Mm-hmm.
they come over here, and we we gather them up and say they black, but no, they got a nationality. They're
They have a
Belizeans.
council, so when they have a legal matter, the council come in. They got a third neutral part.
Uh,
They got a political party, their own natural political party that
you breaking up.
represents them. I'm cutting off. Yeah, we're cutting off. What the fuck did we say this time? It's these goddamn gremlins. Well, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah, they.
Okay, you still have audio?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah,
uh,
you get these glitches and stuff here and there.
well, when the energy is getting to the vibratory rate, when we're taking the vibration up too high, they
Yeah.
can't take it. It has a
Let
built-in
me
self.
address. Let me address what this brother just said. Let me put that up. He said, "I'm a Californian more." Right.
Mm-hmm.
What you just did was denationalize yourself again by calling yourself a Californian more, because there, in ancient times, this area wasn't referred to as California. You got to go to an ancient name. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to an
Mm-hmm.
ancient name and refer to. You can't, like, Californian, right?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't exist in ancient times. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to an ancient name that this was referred to, because that California is a political zone in the jurisdiction of the foreigners that are
What about
operating
Turtle
politically
Island?
on our land.
What about Turtle Island?
Well, Turtle Island was just an all-encompassing name that was based on a mythology of the whole Earth, really. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I thought it was North America.
Well, yes, it's like I said, when
Okay.
the people that thought that was the whole world, they call it Turtle Island, but it's a mythology that literally refers to the whole planet Earth as being Turtle Island. You
And
even
then
got
what
ancient
would be a
depictions.
myth? What would
Even
be a
you got even got ancient depictions that show that that turtle with the Earth dome, right? Giving some idea of the flat Earth people and stuff. Right. Yeah, we are Tonsinist, brother. We are Tonsinist, meaning we didn't migrate to this land. We didn't migrate to this land. Our ancestors have always been on this land, in opposed to these other natives who their ancestors, they've been here for thousands of years, but their ancestors migrated here.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to reverse it and make it seem like we the ones migrated over here. No, there were melanated, dark skinned, copper skinned people here on this land in prehistoric times.
Just just like the dark skinned people are the melanated people in Australia. They, shit. Where did they come from? The
Well, that's
Aborigines.
just the Aborigines. They said that that's a different sector of genetics that don't even have a connection to our genetics or whatever. So
You know why? Because from what I heard, they came from beyond the ice wall.
so it might be possibility because that's what's giving more to me more precedence to the flat Earth, and not that I'm agreeing with the flat Earth and I'm a
But look
flat
where
earther. Don't
Australia's
don't
at,
get me
though.
caught. Don't get me on and try to act like I'm a flat earther now. Nope, I'm not a
Yeah,
flat earther.
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe I believe we're living in a multi-dimensional reality.
Multi-dimensional
It's
reality.
multi-dimensional reality, and it's like it's so many layers to this shit that you can't just put it in one shape and say, oh, it's flat or it's spherical. No, I think it's all that and above. But uh, when they bring up the flat Earth, it's giving more reverence to the fact that we're on a plane of existence, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that plane is going to be endless on all every level, right? So when you're thinking about it, it's like, and who's to say that beyond beyond the matrix of this whole matrix, that it's like how when Neo went to the designer or the programmer, when he went to
Mm-hmm.
the programmer, it was all white,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that part of the matrix hadn't been designed yet. It's like some beyond the design. That's crazy. I'm just saying. I'm just theorizing, right? This is only theory. I'm just theorizing that maybe beyond the created world, right? The Matrix is this is a construct. They created it. This is how they coming up with all these idea of this being like some type of holographic reality or whatever, and we're just experiencing a frequency that's giving us the sense of a world that's solid, or we having just this experience, this multi three-dimensional experience and stuff, right? And I'm just theorizing based on the science that's already there, because the science, Western science, don't know a shit. They don't know shit. Western science don't got a clue. What the thing about it is, they don't let us know what they actually do know. So it's like they look stupid. They look like they're incompetent when they, like, when you get like a Neil deGrasse, he talks,
Mm-hmm.
he speaks so eloquently. That's all political.
Yeah.
Come on now, it has nothing to do with genuine science at all.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
That's the
He
code.
he has
That's
to
the code.
present himself as being just this extreme scientist, and that's a front. He's playing a role. He has to play that role because that's the dynamics of this society and how it plays out. It's compartmentalized like that,
Yeah.
right? They have to play for the sheeple.
Well, it's all the institutions about to fail now.
They already have.
Well,
They already have. It just they prop it up, and the sheeple are so oblivious, bro, that they can pull some of the oldest trick on these people, bro. And they're so
Well,
oblivious. They so caught up in Disney World. They so caught up in their delusions of reality, and they love that shit. The Matrix is real, bro. The Matrix is motherfucking real. You try to unplug one of these people, man, they gonna attack you.
well, the Matrix itself is about to get turn itself upside down. I mean,
Right.
it's getting ready to have a major dump, major. I mean, major in them. You remember the death
Yeah.
cross I was telling you
Yeah.
about? Well, it's here.
Right.
We're in the beginning stages of it.
You said the what? Say that again. Say that again.
The
Say that
death,
again.
the death cross.
You talking
That
about in
was
the market?
well, with the debt, yeah. Well, it's more than just the market. It's the way everything is business is being done in the Western world, all over the world. Okay, they just had another Fed fund meeting. Well, another Fed meeting last week on Wednesday, and they hiked interest rate a quarter basis point. So they sent the Fed fund rate to 4.25%, 4.25%, and the 2-year note. Here's the 2-year note.
Boy, I swear.
Give me a second
They
here.
hating, man.
Hmm?
They hating on us, man. They hating on our broadcast right now, bro.
Yeah.
They hating on us.
Here's the yield on the 2-year note. 4.28%, and the Fed fund is at 4.25%. Last week, this motherfucker was at 4.05%. It just it just went up
You
after
gonna
that
have to
fake ass.
you gonna have to explain that. You gonna have to explain that to the neophytes, bro, because we don't understand nothing you're talking about.
When they do that, when when they cross, see, at first it was just the Fed was chasing it. They started way down there at the bottom at
Uh-huh.
zero, and they went up 425 basis points in only 1 year. Okay, the last time when they hiked,
They don't want them to hear what they don't want them to hear what you're saying because you breaking up like crazy right now.
I know the last time when they did a major rate hike like this was from 2004 to 2006. They hiked rates over 400 basis points in 2 years. Okay, in 2 years, they just did that in 1 year. Okay, and look what happened.
Okay, but
The Great
what does it
Recession.
mean when they rate? What does it
Well,
mean when
look.
they rate the hike?
Well, each rate hike is like a boa constrictor coiling itself around the body of the economy. Okay, so
Mm,
for two
right.
years, they hiked interest rates a quarter basis point every quarter for 2 years. And
Okay.
then by 2007, 2008, 2009, we had the worst economic crash since the Great Depression. Okay. And then in 2015 to 2018, they hiked rates maybe 200 basis points. And then you had that big crash in 2000, and they called it the pandemic, or they called it the you know what. But that was because of something else, and they had to hide it with that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't go past that. So you saying that that allegedly the pandemic was an excuse for them to cover
We
up
had a
that the
death cross.
economy.
Yeah, we had a death cross.
Mm.
In 2020, we had a death cross
And
where
you
the Fed
know,
fund, they crossed one another. And so they had to pump $20 trillion into the economy to prop it back up again to where it's been. Now we're going to have this death cross, unlike any death cross ever. They never hiked interest rates 425 basis points in just 12 months in the history ever. Never ever. When we had the tech boom, and I remember in 1998 we had what was called the Asian flu crisis. They cut interest rates three times in like in 1 week. They cut interest rates three times, 75 basis points, 25, 25, 25. And that sent the economy soaring. We had the tech boom. Everything just went crazy. It was like, it was way worse than it was then, than anything we ever seen. And then they started saying, shit, we got to slow this shit down. And then in 1999 to 2000 to 2000, they hiked interest rates 400 and something basis points, and everything crashed. And they have to have 9/11. They brought in 9/11 and all that shit. And that's what brought us
So you're saying
into.
all of these events allegedly are just to cover up the fact that the economy is fucked.
Yeah, yeah. So now what they're saying, did you hear what they were saying? That between now and 2025, we're going to be at war with China. Between now and 2025, that we're supposed to have
I
a
think
pole
I
shift.
think I think these other countries are realizing that America is vulnerable, and they're on, because remember, I recently heard that there's supposed to be some spy
Oh,
balloon that
spy
the
balloon, Chinese
Chinese,
spy balloon. Yeah.
and Biden won't shoot it down or whatever.
Yeah, they don't know what's in it. They think it might cause some type of harm or something, or it could be a Trojan horse or anything. I don't know. But they were saying,
This shit
though,
is weird though, bro. You got, my thing is it's giving more reverence to what we've been saying. That's why I'm not gonna speak on self-governing and creating that, because that watch how many people be on this shit in the next year or two.
well, in the
You're gonna have
next
to
year
have
or two,
something. You're gonna have something to protect your ass when this shit go the fuck down, and it's not
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
the United
ready to
States
go down.
government. It's
This
not
shit
gonna
is
be the United
ready.
States government.
Well, we can ready to go to war. We're in a war cycle. We're in a major war cycle. We overdue. Way overdue. We're overdue for a major depression. We're overdue for everything that happened from like in 1918 all the way to 1945 is happening all over again. It started, they had major revolutions in China where millions of people died. They had a major revolution in Russia, millions of people died. We had the Spanish fly, millions of people died. You had World War II, millions of people died. You had the roaring 20s, millions of people became millionaires. And then it all crashed. And you had the Great Depression, and then you had
To
World War
me,
II.
it looks like a pattern if you really see it from the perspective of not just being just the proletarian, mindless zombie. From the perspective when you hearing how you breaking it down, the timeline, literally, it's a pattern. Literally a pattern, and it's
Yeah,
crazy because the pattern is so predictable. You can predict shit just by knowing the pattern.
but see what's different this time, or what's really the icing on the cake, is that next month on the 23rd, Pluto goes into the zodiac of Aquarius, and it's going to be in and out, but it's supposed to open up a vortex and something crazy. Who knows what's going to happen? Shit's just going to, worlds going to collide.
Well,
Worlds are going to
there's something that it was on international news too. They showed something behind the sun. That's, you can literally see something behind the sun. It was on international news too. I mean, not international, but national news.
Well, we showed everybody that on that Planet X tape when we saw those spears next to the sun that
Yeah,
orbits around them every 27 days.
right.
And they
And
said they've been here 26 since 2017 when we were in the grand solar minimum, but it was affecting the sun like we were in the grand solar maximum. But so now, as long as these spheres stay orbiting around the sun while we're in the grand solar maximum, it'll never peak. It'll never end. Will remain in a major sun cycle indefinitely, which means we're going to go through a major cleansing process, major cleansing process, or this planet is going to go through a major cleansing process. It don't matter to us. We're just passing through anyway. Okay. Um, after I'm done, after my higher manus is or my lower manus is done with this, I'm going back to the mental world. I'm going to Devachan. I ain't gonna give a fuck about this. But my lower shell personality that's left over, I guess, it could possibly, it could manifest or incarnate in somebody down here and deal with that shit. But
Right,
my
because
higher
like that's why you have a lot of this disembodied entities, spirits down here, because that's what they are. They're like lower manis that just around and around in here, down here.
no, that's the emotional body and lower manus.
Right, but I'm just saying they just disembodied spirit aspects of that character or that personality still
Mhm.
roaming, but it doesn't have an embodied. It doesn't have a body.
Yeah, it doesn't have a physical material body, but it has an emotional body and a mental body
Right, right.
forms, but it doesn't have a material form, hasn't formed into a
Right, but
person.
this is the thing about it is this is where the whole ghost phenomenon comes from too, because what happens is you got to realize that everybody doesn't see ghosts because you're not sensitive to that subtle energy. Remember, we talked about a lot of people are sensitive to that subtle energy.
Oh yeah.
See these disembodied spirits. You know what I'm saying? Like myself, I can, and it's like this is why I came up with the idea of mastery over the demons and recognizing that you have demons and you have angels, and these are aspects of the polarities of your energy within inside of you, and you have to master both realms.
But
You have to
I
master
feel the
both
only way to
realms.
master that is to become an aspect of ultimate reality.
You
And
have
when
to
you become
master
an
both realms, bro, to become the ultimate master of realities. You have to
okay.
master both aspects of your polarity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And most people they go into this whole positivity and it's all about positivity and just ignore the negativity,
And then you
which is
got
the
people
polarity, which is
that
the
flip
polarity of
opposite.
the cosmic is a polarity of that energy. You have to always consider the negative.
Yep. Because if
It's
you're only
part
dealing with the positive, when a dark spirit, something is fucking with you and put some shit on your ass, them beings of light not gonna be able to help you.
right.
You're gonna
For
have to go
real.
to somebody on the dark side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with some dark side energy.
You already are the light and the darkness. You feel me?
Well,
You have to be recognizing you have to recognize that within yourself and then cultivate it and bring these two energies into complementary aspects of your life. They mostly
well, see,
complement each other.
yeah, but see that the way you do that is you meditate and you go into the dark and you become the point in the middle, vibrating everything in the circle, outside in the circle. That's how you become the creative process. You're not thinking no more, you just creating. You're just creating, and what you're creating is outside of the black
My,
dot.
my meditation is to go into the nothingness, period, and just the whole meditation is to return to nothingness.
Well,
Meaning,
that is the black dot.
I can't see nothing, I can't hear nothing, I can't. It's just total nothing. That's a meditation, and it's hard to do. That's like one of the hardest meditations to do. But
Yeah.
once you practice it over and over, you got to practice it. You got to keep doing it. Got to keep
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. You
Once
do
you
it.
once you get that, that's like one of the greatest therapies. You can like Mo's talking about mental health. That's like
Mm-hmm.
one of the greatest therapies people who got mental health problems can do.
Yeah, but in the physical world, when it comes to, but see, to become the manifester, master manifester in the physical world, you go into the middle, which is the nothing. The point in the middle, that's the nothing. Because in that, when you go into that point in the middle, it's eternal darkness. You're in eternal darkness. But there's also at the same time an appearance of that eternal darkness. on one side is eternal darkness, on the other side is just a little tiny black dot, and everything else outside of that black dot is being manifested into reality from the energy of that black dot. And then within that black dot is eternal darkness. On one side is eternal darkness, on the other side is manifestation. And to control manifestation, I go into the darkness, the eternal darkness. And as I, you know, I can, and so within the eternal darkness, I can produce the energy that I need to manifest everything on the outside.
It's similar to literally resetting or recalibrating your spirit, mind, and body connection. You can recalibrate it. You can reset it basically by doing these meditations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the more
Yeah.
you put them in alignment with each other, meaning there's a slight vibration. There's a slight vibrational hierarchy or
It's
lower.
about being creative. It's about using your creative imagination.
I mean, this is
That's all.
exactly, of course, but I'm just saying because everyone's ritual is their own. You have to create your
Yeah.
own ritual.
Yeah. And that's where you bring in your own creative imagination. And your creative imagination, that's your power.
Look, this is all the people who came up with the cosmology that you submit to today, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Islam, whether it's Hinduism, whether it's all you're doing is submitting to a creation that someone created. They created a cosmology for themselves to find themselves in their higher aspects of that creation and find themselves also within themselves, right? So all you're doing is submitting to a creation. You can create too. Be creative with this stuff. It's your spiritual development.
Duh. Yeah.
It's
I
your
mean,
spiritual development.
unless you feel comfortable submitting and subjecting yourselves to someone else's creative
I mean, it's okay. I'm not saying
construct
I'm not against submitting to a certain doctrine. I'm just saying
construct.
recognize it's not your creation though. And that kind of makes you inferior within that doctrine. So when you create your own, then now you have a superiority, you have an authoritarian aspect of your whole doctrine. This is, and you have an authority over it. And that's all I'm saying about it.
Yeah. And so, and the key is collecting, is using higher manas to connect and with the lower, and connecting higher manas and lower manas, using lower manas to build up the emotional body and the physical body through.
Right.
And
The same way Solomon used the angels and the demons to build Solomon's temple.
yeah, but let me finish. And then higher manas being subtle enough to connect with Atma Buddhi and turn the monad into a sense of I-ness. And when you get the monad, which is the real, super energy, connected with higher manas, connected with lower manas, connected with the emotional and etheric and physical body, and you function and you connect all these chakras together, you have not only an enlightened being, but you'll have a super being, a super light being. You'll have this being will definitely leave this plane of existence far behind, and will move on to higher worlds. But the part of itself that it'll leave behind in these lower worlds
It'll
will
be
be enough.
figments. It'll just be figments or shadows of itself.
But people could be able to tap into that and use that to make this world better too.
That spirit is still lingering. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So right. Oh my God. Wow. See, but you just gave explanation on how the mortals and the gods literally basically are a synchronicity and have like a connection to each other energetically.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are aspects of yourself that will become like a mortal to another aspect of you who you become over your
Yeah.
spiritual development.
Yeah, but that aspect with you will not have anything to do with these lower planes, because it would have evolved on to something greater.
Of
And the
course,
only
because
thing,
it's a higher overtone, it's a vibrational level that it eludes this reality. It's not the same. It's not the same shit. It's
mm-hmm,
it's, it eludes this reality. It's like it's like how Atlantis eludes us today. Atlantis still exists. It just eludes us. It evolved to a whole nother something else now. Just like
well, it
and
it
Kemet
it
too.
no, it
Kemet
went
too.
dormant. It just went dormant. It went dormant. It went asleep, so it can wake up again and rise back up again, but and rise in greater glory this time, because this time Atlantis won't be sinking. Atlantis will be rising.
Right.
Atlantis will be a new beginning.
But that's symbolic to that heightened vibration, that intensified vibrational experience right there. Because, like you said, Atlantis fell to a lower vibration. Now it's going to rise to a higher vibration now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I was talking about, though. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's like heaven comes down to earth type of energy that we're creating, because we want to have this energy where the energy, like, the whole point of bringing the lower serpentine energy, chakra energy up to the crown, is to bring these polarities and complementary aspects of, you know what I'm saying? They supposed to
Yeah.
complement each other.
Yeah.
So
But
you bring
see,
that higher, you bring that serpentine energy from the lower realms up to the higher realms with the crown chakra.
And it doesn't
That
stop.
process of
It doesn't stop on this world, because the crown chakra in this world becomes the root chakra in the next world.
oh, world, yeah.
Okay, and then you have to climb up that tree, and then that
Right.
crown chakra becomes the root chakra
For
of
another,
another world.
right.
Yeah, so your
Right.
crown is always the root of something not greater.
Greater. I've never heard that before either. That's deep. Like, that is deep, because that basically is how, when you are on this journey of self-discovery, it doesn't stop because it's endless.
It's endless.
It never stops.
It never stops. You never arrive. Shit. This is not an arrival. This is an ongoing trip. This shit. There's no destination. No final
This is why
destination.
it's inferior. It's inferior for us to even put a date on it, like the humans do. Like humanity, they date everything. They put a date. No, once you start putting a date on it, you even bring the spirit down. You bring the vibration down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better look at yourself like some motherfuckers with some luggage in the airport, always traveling.
Right. Right.
You better see yourself as some motherfucking tourist.
Right.
Yeah, we're the tourists traveling through, these lands and shit.
The fluctuations, traveling through the fluctuations.
Yeah, we
They're
traveling
like
through
waves. They like waves. And that's giving more reverence to us being the more, because the more is something that's a cosmic thing. We came through the mother's water, right? Because we come from other cosmic higher waters, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've been selling those waters.
But see, we never left the higher waters. We still in the higher waters. We're just
that's no doubt. That's the whole point. That's what we're navigators, and that's another aspect of more of the navigator.
Yeah, we're just having this experience like we're in these lower realms or whatever, but we're still the higher realms. We bring the higher realms down here to the so-called lower realms. We bring the lower realms back up to the higher realms.
We the gods down here.
But
then it gives you a whole other definition of God, because there's something higher than a god now. That's why I came up with the Beyonder gods.
Well, ultimate reality is
Beyonder gods.
The ultimate reality is beyond the gods.
No doubt.
Yeah. Shit, what's beyond ultimate reality?
The dark.
That is ultimate reality.
You know what I'm saying?
That is ultimate reality. The eternal darkness. They call it the eternal darkness.
Right.
Yeah. That is the ultimate reality that we're in when we're meditating and we're in that pure darkness.
Right.
It's so pure and so powerful. It's hard to stay tapped into it in this physical form because it's so foreign to this.
Well, yeah, it gives more appreciation to, you know what I'm saying, this humanity, because you see the purpose of it as being like this cocoon, this what they call it when you're going through that alchemic process.
Yeah, metamorphosis.
Right.
Yeah, you go going through the cocoon and coming out. That's a metamorphosis. The butterfly.
Right. That's a form of alchemy too. You know what I'm saying? It's a form of alchemy too.
Yeah, Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but the spiritual alchemy that we're talking about is changing from that vibrational frequencies that you initially came here in human form on, and you transform that, and you dig deeper into that seed, and you unravel what was in that seed.
Well, see,
Then
again, that's where this Manus thing comes into play. Is that once you realize that we are these higher mental beings, we're only an aspect of these mental beings expressed in the physical form.
like when we lower our vibration, we lose sense of who we actually are, and we start getting into these personalities, right? And
Yeah,
then we lose sense
and
of who
then
we actually are, and we think we're the personalities.
yeah, and then but that all of that eventually plays out. It just plays itself out, and you're just full of nothing. Then once you
Well,
become full of nothing, once you become empty on the inside, you
well, in this
say
society, look, in this
you
society, they got an actual
say
name. Look,
because you say because from the emptiness, the nothingness comes the absolute all. You have the
check it
potential.
out. I'm supporting what you're saying because in this society, they literally call that uh, life crisis, or you know what I'm saying, midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis. Yeah, when you feel empty.
Yes, when you come to a conclusion and you're, because most people are not literally on the journey, spiritual journey and the spiritual development in their life, but
Yeah,
it happens anyway.
yeah,
And
it happens.
they start discovering that all
There's
of
more.
this bullshit that they've been told since they were a child is bullshit.
Yep,
It's all bullshit.
yep,
And
and then
it was all meant to inhibit an aspect of myself that this society is threatened by.
and it was meant to rob me of achieving that sooner than later in life because by me it's achieving it sooner in life when I'm at my most vibrant, I will probably remain more vibrant and excel from there, which would be scary for
Right. Point blank, you're not controllable at these higher vibrational states of understanding and being. And that's the
no,
problem. You're not
yeah,
controllable.
yeah, and they
They
wouldn't know how to
can't
do
control. They can't control a population, like I just said, who
it.
are tapping into their higher powers within themselves. They can't control it.
No,
And that's the whole look. They're doing shows to literally explain what I just told you about the whole Agents of Shield, and how they talked about the Eternals and how they left some dormant in human DNA, and it just came out of some humans. They're telling us that it's something dormant inside of you. All the audience that's listening, there's something dormant that's gonna come out, but it's gonna be a monster to this society, to
yeah,
this reality.
they're telling us the same thing that shit Bobby Hemmett was out there preaching, and I mean just putting out there every day and every night,
Man, he
night
wasn't
in
preaching.
and
He was
teaching.
the thing about Bobby Hemmett is you can listen to him and most people, this nigga crazy.
The nigga was crazy,
And guess
but
what?
he
You're
knew
right.
the nigga was
But
crazy.
guess what? But guess what? That motherfucker is a PhD graduate.
I know.
So he knows what the fuck he talking about.
Yeah, that nigga.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about based on what y'all look at it as authorities, as the authority, motherfuckers. He
Mm-hmm.
has those degrees, so you can't talk about him on that level. Like you can't dismiss him and say,
No.
"Oh, he came out of academia, motherfuckers."
Yeah.
You can't ignore that.
No, you can't.
See, but the thing about it is, he went deeper.
You went
He
deep.
seen like all we're doing is going deeper than what Western society is willing to go because their tongues are sealed. They
Yeah.
can't do what we're doing right now.
It's political suicide.
They can't do what we're doing.
No, it's not political suicide for us. It's fucking political liberation for us.
This is going back to positive law, negative law. Their positive law is our negative law. Yes, right. Why?
Yeah.
Because we have to recognize that they're creating spells that you're
Yeah.
under.
Yeah.
Right? The Constitution is a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Legislation is a spell.
Shit. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the
These are
republic
all
for which it
spells,
stands.
bro. Right there, they know that the judges. What's the true sense? The true name for a judge? A
A
magistrate. A
magistrate.
magistrate.
A
A
magi.
magistrate. What the fuck
A
is a
magi.
magistrate? A
A
motherfucker
magi.
who do magic, motherfucker. Okay.
Magi.
A magistrate is a motherfucker who do magic, okay? Who
Yeah, he's
interpret the
a
magic.
magi.
Y'all, let me get it. Let me get it. Then he does magic, probably. He probably for a petition or two, but he actually interprets the magic and
Mm-hmm.
makes sure the spell plays out amongst y'all. Look, this is the thing about it is, and they got us too. They got us
Yeah.
because the spell don't work on people who recognize they're not inferior. It only
Mm-hmm.
works on people who think they're inferior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Th-
Now this
That's
is
the
where.
only that's the only people that this spell works on.
Yeah, this is where your shit plays in. This is where what you talking about plays in.
Right, because it's just simple shit. They're writing spells. It's called legislation. It becomes
Yeah.
law. Right?
Okay, so
And now
when
now listen, because you believe that they have the authority. You think like the average motherfucker out here, they talking to me and telling me about the United States legislation authority, but they never followed up on how far that authority goes.
yeah, that's true. But at the same token, us putting stuff out like that, they would probably use our own people that look just like us to take us out or try to take us out.
That's fine. Listen, that's fine
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, we realize we're not even inferior to that anymore because we know it now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
create rituals and spells constantly to counter any of these counterintelligence. Because counterintelligence ain't nothing but this.
But we
Come
just
on now.
broke that spell tonight anyway by just saying that even after we pass away from this, the higher part of us is going to go on, but the lower part of us, the same like what we are, how we are down here now, and the whole thinking process that we have that's going on in our brains and minds is going to continue on,
Right.
and
So, but,
that
but
and
think about
and
this
that
though.
shell.
But think
Yeah.
about this though. There are things happening on a spiritual level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's so subtle that most are not mindful of it. It going right over your head. It's so subtle and you don't
Mm-hmm.
recognize it. But guess what? We are the ancestors right now. right now is a lot of people going to the other realm right now. A lot of people passing away right now, brother.
Yes, they are.
You know what? Guess what?
What?
Regardless of the people who are mourning, and now my condolence, guess what? It's a good thing these people are going over there. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because what happens is we got to recognize that their energy is still working towards this evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, this is why Noble Drew Ali said, "I." He said, like, I chose to go beyond the realm of physical existence so I can handle stuff on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, from the other side, he can leave a part of himself behind
So
that others that are behind him can tap into
he left
to
his
draw.
spirit here, so now he can grow off that spirit he left. His whole
Yeah.
doctrine. But the thing about it is, it's been colluded to where you don't see the genuine spirit no more. The only way you can get to the genuine spirit is if you understand etymology, the true sense of words. Because the original spells, listen, the original spells were created in a certain sense and they had a certain intent, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you offer the original, because guess what? Our ancestors wrote spells too.
Guess who started the shit?
Who started it? We did.
We did. Okay, so
Yeah.
who's the author of it, and who's gonna finish the shit?
Right. So
Who
what I'm
finished
saying,
it?
we have to, because you got to understand, etymology is important because the culture is in the language, right? And we have to understand language don't belong in the monolithic way that people think that this language belongs to these people, this language belongs to these people. No, what we're looking at is the diversity of amalgamation of languages, right?
Our
Because
linguistics,
there was
period.
there was a worldwide trade before there was a worldwide trade that we see today going on. We know
We
this
had some
because
form of
we,
linguistics.
we know this because of the spice trade that's ancient, the spice trade.
Well, shit. Some of the pharaohs had cocaine in their systems. They found.
So yeah, and that's just the cliche stuff that they just let us know on the national news. But what I'm saying is, go into the history of the spice trade, because there you can definitely see international import export global community. Now I refer to it because they want to create a sinister version of what was ancient world was, which is a world order that was based in this principle of everyone having like a protection, a right to their protection of their own base, of their own homeland, and all this stuff, right? You can even see it. You can even see it in the scriptures how they allotted land to certain families because that Bible scripture that based on the allotted land to Shem and all his descendants and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was based on those principles of, yes, you have rights to, and that's your base of power. That's your homeland. This is where the whole idea of nationality sprung out of that, because people think nationality is borders. No, nationality is making sure that equity amongst different people in different areas was there, and that the family dynamics was respected, right? It got to the Western world, because you got to realize the Europeans mindset, right? You got to read a book called The Iceman Inheritance, right? The Iceman Inheritance, where his mindset is based in scarcity because he came out of that that type of conditioning. So this
Yeah.
is how his worldview is. So now
Yeah.
you see colonization. You see what colonization. See, you. So we had a worldview of abundantness of everyone had and how to operate in equity.
Well, whatever you just said a minute ago, you didn't say it. We didn't hear you say it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you were saying it. They heard you say
Hey, guess what? Hopefully
it.
it come on the it come on the replay, and hopefully it didn't cut off in the replay because I just said some dynamic stuff.
You
But
did.
we're gonna have to bring it to an end. We went a
Hmm.
little bit we went a little bit longer than we usually do, but
Yeah,
we
we
got to
did.
bring it to an end
Yeah. Well,
because
my
I got
last words
another
is
stuff.
The death cross is here, America. It's going to happen. One more. It's going to happen again. This time, unlike any time ever before. Which
Woo!
means, which
Thank you.
also means for every disadvantage, there is an advantage or seed of an equivalent advantage as well. So there means there's going to be a lot of seeds for opportunities out there for us to come out on this on top, if possible. If something we don't have a major pole shift that just completely changes everything and scramble us up like a goddamn skillet of fucking smashed eggs and shit for
Check it out,
breakfast.
bro. Listen, our ancestors didn't leave us hanging, bro. Our ancestors got contingency plans on top of contingency plans on top of contingency plans, brother. Listen, I literally heard those who are amongst the council amongst us that understand the ancient principle that the ancestors always knew where to be when there was catastrophes on the planet. They were in tune to where they knew exactly where to go so that they
Mm-hmm.
can elude the catastrophes that were going on this planet. And guess what? We have
What?
access to that science. Why? Because we're going deeper into who we actually are, bro. We're going deeper into who we actually are. So that's only effective to the Western world, bro, because the Western world have a different view of reality that is not nowhere near our view of reality, our worldview, bro. Nowhere
I
near it.
know. Well, see,
Nowhere
me,
near
I
it.
feel like okay, there has to be a Zion on earth that our people can go to. And then for those who leaves this realm, we know that the next place from here from there is the higher mental realms.
Right.
Nothing in between. Yeah, we go back up to the higher mental realms.
Right.
And anything else in between is a purgatory
Wow.
and or a stepping stone to or that sends you back down here to earth to go through this process all over again through another personality and physical body and lower manners.
Listen, I would suggest that y'all just do something as simple as listen to Tina Marie, Deja Vu.
Oh yeah.
Listen to that song, and she's going to tell you everything you need to know about what you need to be doing. In that song, Deja Vu, go listen to it. I'm
Yeah.
not coming back no more.
Mm-mm.
She broke that shit down on that song, homie. She
Yeah.
told you. She told you what it really is. And I know it went over y'all heads. Is this a
Yeah.
good song? It's a good song, huh? Man, she was on some next level occult stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Next
What that
level, bro.
what fucking Rick James was getting himself into.
That nigga was high as motherfucking.
That nigga was so high he went a cult. He was so high he was a cult and didn't know it.
Right. Wow. Guess what? That may be real though. You may be onto something right
It
there.
is. Motherfucker
Yeah.
get so high they be in the occult world and don't know it.
Right.
And then when they wake up in the morning, they have no clue or idea. What the fuck did I just? Damn,
But
I gotta
that
see.
is the purpose though. That they even said that the motherfuckers put people around you as soon as you get of having the music industry and everything. They all
Uh-huh.
going to put people around you that's going to either put drugs in your in your stuff, convince you to take drugs some type of way, so that you can
Mm-hmm.
just be out of it. This is how they get most of these people to sell their soul. What are we talking about when you saying selling your soul? You're selling an aspect of yourself where it's beyond. It's crazy because they even think of something like that. Sell your soul. Think about
They
that.
they 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 feel while you down here, they own a piece of your manners, an aspect of your manners, and they get to use your manners to
But
manifest the shit in the reality that they want
yes,
manifest.
yes, that's the power of your shit, though. And
Yeah,
they know that you don't value it because you like it don't have no effect down here. So, and it actually does have an effect down here.
it
You just don't know
does.
how to fucking use it. You don't know how to use it. So you like it don't have no value. So I'm willing to sell it for this fiat,
Yeah.
right? And
And then when that shit runs,
not realizing that the fact that you even are doing that, you giving up a part of yourself, and you've compromised your integrity to a point where they already understand that they can fuck you over now.
yeah. And then they can dispose of you when they see fit.
And that's
That's
all
like
they're doing to
saying
these rappers. That's all they're
they're
doing to
saying,
these rappers nowadays.
yeah, they're like saying we the ones that control your whole being here on the physical realm.
Right, because this is not a coincidence that all these rappers are just somehow coming up dead, bro. Stop it. Allegedly, allegedly, these motherfuckers are getting killed by the label, and they got an insurance policy on them. Allegedly, this is what's happening, bro. And you can't.
Are they using
It's
are
too many. It's too many connections leading to that right there. How all of a sudden now rap is one of the most deadliest fucking professions you can be in.
and that makes motherfuckers want to be in it more.
Hey, listen, do go be for you.
Oh shit, man, they using your melanin, they using your energy, they using your essence, and they giving yeah, they throwing money at you. You walking around with diamonds fucking attached to your skull and shit, with, looking
Because they
all
know that we're so superficial, shallow, and materialistic that we will give up things of actual value for these frivolous trivia trinkets down here in this physical bullshit, bro.
yeah, that we think is more value, that has more value than ourself. They in other words, they disvalue the God within, and they give that value, turn that over to something else, to some God
These
outside.
these motherfuckers are Christians, and they think that
Creep.
what we're talking about is blasphemy, and they think that y'all got demons. Yes, you do too. We all got demons. We all got
Yeah,
demons. What the
yeah. If
hell?
you got high blood pressure, you got a demon. If you got obesity, you got a demon. If you got
Right.
cancer, you got a demon.
Yeah.
If you got mental illness, you got a demon.
Yeah.
If you living in poverty, you got a demon.
Yeah. Right. The thing about demons is You can't let them control you. You have to control them. There's your slaves.
Yeah.
So all the adversity, that is a slave to you. You have to overcome it, and it makes you stronger. But yeah, I gotta go though, bro.
Yeah. Okay, man.
Peace to the peoples out there, man. Islam, chaos, order, all
Yeah.
the above,
And thanks to
and
all of
everything
you
in
who support
between.
us tonight.
No doubt, brother, for sure. All
Yeah.
those who look at the recordings too. You know, we
Hmm.
don't never say subscribe and you know what I'm saying. All that shit is all phony, program, cliche shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna attract the real spirits. Like somebody just gonna happen to just tune into this out the blue.
Yeah. You just tune
That's
in.
what we're looking for. That's what we're
Yeah.
looking for. People they weren't even looking for. They just damn. Look at what they talking about. Damn, and they just tune in like that. I ain't worried about all that big audience and all these people trying to. That's flossing. That's all fake glamour. That's all lower vibrational crap.
Government shit. Yeah. That's some government shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Commercial.
very much is because you get on their radar and now it's another level. You either you're gonna be approached and either you're gonna give in or now you're on their radar now. Period.
Yeah.
You know what
They'll
I'm saying?
probably dump a whole lot of money in your pocket and tell you this is how you just go this way with this shit.
And
We
guess
we
what?
got
That's how a lot of these YouTubers are millionaires now because of that bullshit.
Yep.
Yep. But I gotta go, bro. All right.
Okay, man. All right.
See y'all next weekend.
Next weekend.